Hello, beautiful beings. How are you doing today? I have sat down and decided to do a little reading because I'm feeling pretty tired, and the cards always bring me a nice little bit of comfort, and it's always nice to connect with all of you. So I started being like, all right, well, what is it that I need to know? And I heard check in with the union energies. So I drew three cards in regarding to the union. Okay. And very powerful stuff coming through. And then I drew two cards just for what the self needs to know, what you need to know about the beloved, and then the external energies of that reflection. Now, I think the fact that I'm being told to tune into the union energies is significant because I heard it's not about right now creating the duality between the masculine and the feminine, or understanding who is what and what is which, and which is what and what is what. But it's about understanding that you are one whole piece coming forward with another whole piece. So as we do this, this is me, this is my beloved. It's not this is my masculine, I am his feminine. This is my beloved, I am their beloved. So I'm going to look up this first card that came forward, which is the bow. Now I do believe this came out in a reading within the last few days. All right. And so this is kind of the spiritual energies. The bow, the sign of readiness and protection. The universe is eagerly awaiting to answer your prayer. While honoring your past, you are ready to transcend into a higher consciousness rooted in love. You no longer need to hide or run as if you were prey. You now hold the bow and arrow in your hands, which means you have the tools you need to step into a new chapter of your life. Well, this is great news. I did not expect this. You are ready. You are safe. Release the tension in your body. Unclench your jaw. Lower your shoulders and soften your forehead. Stand in the pose of archer and close your eyes and imagine all of your dreams held at the point of this burning arrow. Hold your breath for a second and set the intention wholeheartedly. And when you release the arrow into the universe, and then release the arrow into the universe, you are sending a prayer into the stars with an open and humble heart. You need to trust that the universe is kind and loving and that it will be heard. In balance, being ready, experiencing a higher consciousness, feeling safe, feeling protected, overcoming obstacles, becoming aware of your strengths. Wow, I did not know that when I drew this card the other day, as I just started working with this book. But wow, what a beautiful, powerful, potent message. It did come up right on the same day that I had gotten the message about shooting a bow and arrow. So I love the metaphor of that as we're coming into and feeling this union. I know messages that I've been getting and confirming with other divine feminine is this time is to be clear and to protect. It's not about healing for another. It's not about cleaning up the old time. Like, we're done doing that. It's really, as much as you can, is like protect your energy, take care of yourself, and as much as you can, hold the vision of what it is that's coming forth. Steady your focus. And if you feel like you've done that piece already, then so it is. Okay? All right. So the next card to come up was a reverse Apprentice of Pipes. All right. So I believe that is the Page of Wands. Okay. And, well, just because that book was so fruitful, what's this got to say about the Page of Wands here? I'm going to read all the books now. I'm not going to read the cards at all. But sometimes, it's like these messages are activations in themselves, and they come forward to bring us the insight that we need. Why is there... Can't even find the messages here. Surely you're in here. Aha. Aha! All right, so we are in the pipes and this wands. All right. So, feel your body as a channel of power, all right? And this one doesn't seem to do reverse. So what I feel like the indication with this card being in reverse, though, is our grounding isn't coming from our physical reality. Our grounding is coming from higher consciousness, and our insight, our power, our strength is coming from it's coming straight from the portal of higher consciousness. So I know for myself, it's been feeling really dense here in the 3D. I've been feeling very uncomfortable. But 2 nights ago, I had a beautiful dream where a counterpart came to me in the dream, and he held me, and I think I spoke with this. He held me, he kissed me, he offered me like glazed donuts with walnuts in it, but just the right amount of sweet that he knew it wouldn't aggravate my belly. Like, I felt so seen. He had taken me on an adventure that I didn't know where I was going, and then I got there. It was all very beautiful. So that's exciting news, and that dream for me really helped lift me into a deeper trust and knowing. And, I think when you get that kind of insight, for myself, I've been taking, like, if I feel like interacting and sharing it, I do. I don't play the mental game of like, should I say, should I not? It's just like, would I feel better by sharing? And I'm okay if I share and they don't respond. And, like, does it make me feel more in my heart space to share that abundance, to share that feeling? Okay, so I said, what is the healing energy coming forth with this? And I got ayahuasca, rebirth. Now, this is a very beautiful card because there is a gestating little baby in the center of the earth. There's the transmutation energies of the snake. You've got the mystic shaman. You've got a lot of elements of that. You've got the divinity of spirit. You've got a lot of components all working together. And I'm going to read the book for this one too, because why not? We have it, and I haven't read this card in a while. I do know these cards much better. All right. Rebirth, mastery, great revelation, discovery of the higher self, which connects us with the connection of the higher self, the other card. Meeting with the creatrix, divine messenger, gifts from spirit, realization, telepathy, and transcendence. Ayahuasca is an ancient, I'm not going to read all about ayahuasca. We know her magic. She's great, can help with all sorts of things. All right. The guidance. You are mastering the higher power of awareness. You're mastering the power of awareness when aligning to a higher power. Ayahuasca spirit is here to support your ascension, drawing upon the ancient wisdom embedded in your DNA and the earth. Allow yourself to be shattered as you travel through the cosmic womb. Ayahuasca catalyzes purification through the cathartic release of the known, only to reveal the undiscovered terrain within your soul. You are one with the magnetic brilliance of Source, the intelligence that orchestrates the great mystery. Feeling lost in the labyrinth only comes when a loss of intentionality or respect happens. Okay, so that directly ties in with our bow here, right? So, this duality, these two counterparts working together, comes with the intention of the desire, all right? So this is setting intentionality is still an important part of the thing, and I went on a big rant about this yesterday because I feel like we're being asked a lower level of communication asks us to just relax, to surrender to the flow, blah, 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 like all of that. And I think that while we are meant to relax and to surrender to the flow, we surrender to the flow with the full knowing of what it is to come. All right. And we have to trust ourselves in that knowing. I think being told to just let go and stop having expectations and just like enjoy the ride, like you don't get on a roller, you can see most of the roller coaster before you get on it, right? Before you get on a plane, you know where you're going. There's very few things in life that we just get into a vessel without any direction, okay? And so this is really important, and it ties strongly in with this arrow. Okay. So, and I also think the respect line is hitting me really strongly as well. I think a lot of relationships are in the process of transforming, being released. Like there's a lot of growth happening on the relationship levels, and some of those are best to walk away from, and some of those are best to let them run their course, and some to take action, blah, blah, blah. You got to trust your own intuition as it comes to that. But I think the biggest thing that comes to, if you are going to be in any sort of sacred union partnership, and really if you're going to have friends, you need to respect those people. And if you don't respect those people, or you don't feel that they respect you, it's time to walk away. Because the only thing that's going to do is regress us and bring us back into more fear-based patterns and energy. And we don't need that. We need to really focus on connections that are rooted in creativity, co-creation, of exploration, I know for myself, it's like I had a moment a few weeks ago where I was having a conversation with someone, and, like we've talked about the pain, the struggle, blah, blah, blah. We've been with that for a while. And then it was like, well, what about this instead? And I was immediately met with so much resistance. And I was like, this is not sustainable. Like the conversations that I have, like, even if, we do get triggered every once in a while, but to be with somebody who can identify most of the time when they're triggered, or like, oh, that's activating for me, or wow, when you said that, it really brought this home, so that we're able to plunge into those depths versus like not making it harder. That's the co-creative component. You cannot dance with somebody's shadow that doesn't want to be seen. But if you have somebody's shadow who's standing in the light and is fine, then so be it, and I think that's a spectrum too, because there's depths and parts of us that we might not be able to realize, like even I think a lot of us too is like past lives. You're like, what do you mean? I was a horrible person and I cast dark spells on people. Like we've done it all. We've tried out the different energies, but I also think there's a dominant soul resonance that our beings have had throughout time, and while we may have dabbled in areas, I think that most of us haven't gone like full, intensity. And whatever. So, all right, let's continue forward. Offer your greatest intentions, sacrifice your needs, and enter the void without expectation, and allow yourself to be consumed by oceanic consciousness. Remember, dear one, to heal the world, you must heal yourself. You are a source of love. So a visualization I got last night as I was falling asleep was literally to bury two versions of me. One was the one that's dying or dead, which is maybe not choking on my own thoughts, which is the more like egoic parts, the parts that like are rooted in this need and this expectation, and things need to unfold a certain way instead of just holding the intention of sources orchestrating all that is coming. So I think that self was being buried. At the same time, I buried the other version of myself, and that's the one that I was watering, being nurtured. And it's almost like I saw myself as I was even in the fetal position during this meditation of mine, where I was under the ground, and I just like felt the cold, like damp, like somehow warm earth, like holding my body as I began this gestation process. And I might take everybody through a meditation like that. I have not decided yet. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. So now we're moving into self and beloved. And this is really beautiful. Okay, so what we have here for the self is the Four of Cups, which is a very apathetic card. Okay, this is just like, are you fucking kidding me? We're still here, right? How am I supposed to continue to be delighted in that? And rather than saying that there's medicine or you need to change or evolve from this, because it's just like, it's not even about newness. It's about too much consistency and not enough growth, right? And this is where we become apathetic in this way. And, it's hard even in that state to be delighted with the magic around us. And I feel like so many of us are just feeling like, is this it? Like, this is what I came here to do? You've got to be kidding me. Like, yes, I love the trees and what a gift it is to be on earth. Like, I've had all of those feelings and I've had gratitude in all of those feelings. But there's such a point of where, like, it's almost like in this new earth, like we're meant to experience new levels of consciousness, which means new levels of feelings and emotions. We are bored with the fear, the doubt, those lower level things, those, the fighting, like those levels of things, it's not even interesting anymore. I think I even said this to someone a few weeks ago. I was like, it's not even interesting talking about our problems anymore, because we've found solutions and no shifts are occurring. And I like the problem solving. I like the moving with stuff, how to create growth and change. But in that particular dynamic, the other person was not interested in those things. And I was bored in continuing to try to be creative and not being received in that. So I share that in reflection of maybe that's going to help you kind of identify where you're sitting at with these times. And it does feel heavy. It does feel uncomfortable because it's just like, come on, and I told my friend today, I was like, I'm kind of like a meh. I'm not a blah, but like I'm a meh right now. Like that's how I feel about life, and I think it's awesome and wonderful to just accept where we are. I think there's so much in spiritual communities that's just like, you've got to be beaming gratitude and you've got to embody unconditional love. And I'm like, what's embodying unconditional love is like being honest with all of the parts of me that show up at any given time. That's unconditional love. That's truth. Okay. So with this, I also get the Six of Cups energy. So the Six of Cups to me in this card is always about kind of like inner child processing, of like past life processing, like, from where we're coming. And I feel like it's like we're done looking back. We're done sorting through all the ways that I am that I was. And we want to be the I am that I am, and I am that I am where I am going. And I think that request for presence and beingness of like, well, if I can't go to where I'm going, then I just have to be here is again this feeling. And it's okay not to be totally delighted by everything all the time. It's okay not to be just like, the embodiment of gratitude. Like be present with yourself in this. And, if this is externally how it's showing up of like, the external of how it's showing up is also the process in which our souls have been working to achieve more spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical adulthood, right? Like it's obvious, like the transition from puppy to dog, from boy to man, right? But it's less obvious of how that boy to man or woman to man, whatever, that person to adult, that child to adult evolves mentally, and so that really shows up by forms of behavior, okay? And the emotional things of how deep we go with people, how present we can be with ourselves, how present we can be with others. All of that is an indication of emotional adulthood. And the spiritual thing is like also how we continue to grow and evolve with that. I think also those of us who are spiritual, like we can reason our way out of any sensation, feeling, just the same as like psychologists. Like we can justify people's behavior by all sorts of different things. At the end of the day, the behavior is the behavior. The thing is the thing. And if we're not changing, we're choosing, and to make change is to make a choice. So, and to not make change is to make a choice. So I guess I got a little lost, honestly, and sharing all that. I'm like, where are we going with this? So where we're going is with our beloved, who is apparently having an internal journey of their own union. Also of their own choice. Now, with this particular lover card, it really feels, I love the way the sun's hitting this card even right now. It really feels like they're, coming to union, they're being together, they're being present. I love that it is like the masculine who's like surrendered into the lap of the feminine, and she's just kind of like watching and witnessing him in this process. So I feel like for the collective, and what this represents is the masculine or the beloved other component is experiencing their own inner union, and they're reestablishing their connection with the divine. Okay. Also that could be meaning like they're reckoning and coming to their own internal relationship as it relates to you specifically. So, something to be present with. And the external card that kind of showed up for this is this Page of Pentacles. So there's still this like childlike sense of balance going, and here was also a page, Page of Wands. Okay. So this is, these guys are opposites of each other. This is the Page of Wands connecting with Spirit. This is the Page of Pentacles connecting with Earth. Okay. So I really feel like there are some foundations being shared right now, or starting to be implemented. They might not be actions that you're seeing or are part of in the co-creative process that's happening, but know that the co-creation comes from this energy too. What you're creating and what you're experiencing in the higher realms, or like with the dreams, it influenced me of how I showed up in my day, my playfulness, the way that I'm able to engage. So trust that the insight that one side is getting, maybe from spirit, that the other is getting that insight from earth, and where you meet is in the middle. I'm going to draw 2 more cards because I want a little more clarification on what this is for the union energies as well. So we're going to do union internal and union external, and just see what shows up. Okay. It's also just giving me more messaging to bring through. All right. Okay. So the last message that wanted to come through was, so this is also Page of Pentacles, okay? Page of Boons. So what I get from this, these 2 energies, this feels like, the adolescent boy energy, and this can be like the more of like angsty teen girl energy. But they're both the same card in these 2 different decks. So we're double getting this Page of Pentacles energy. And I think as it relates to both of these cards, it's like the decision to get more pointed with intention, or just to be present with the present, that's fine too. And the decision is to, is the lover life the life to move forward? Are we consciously moving in partnership, or are we choosing old patterns and beliefs? Because this card to me speaks to the old patterns of belief, the old ways of desire, of reaching for those carnal temptations of the earth, versus like the finding balance of there. So this wanted me to bring that message through. Now, the good thing about this message of where the union energies is taking is it seems like both we're releasing the old, we're walking away from the old, okay? And this is a bright new horizon. This is an embodied being who is walking towards her further place. And I want one more card of where are we walking towards? All right. So I get Queen of Swords, but what I hear is clarity of intention is what we're walking towards. The clarity of intention in the brain. So again, this is the levels, that we're moving through. Think we've moved a lot through spirit, like, the clarity and the precision of like, all right, this is the action I want to take. This is the steps forward, and like getting the sword to kind of cut through that truth. Because both of these are swords. This is a release energy, this card, and she has the what she's moving towards, and this is like, I have landed at the vision of what we're coming towards. She's strong. She's also still assessing the new horizons to keep on moving. So overall, this is a really positive reading. I hope that it resonates. I hope you're having a good full moon energy. Hang in there, all right? Those rebirths are coming. And, again, we had this beautiful bow, which, again, with the line was, the universe is eagerly waiting to answer your prayer. I think we're still right on the precipice. I'm feeling it. I'm seeing it. I'm still uncomfortable as I stabilize in preparing for it. See how I language there instead of saying waiting? I stabilize in preparing for it. Ugh. That's what we're up to, and I wish you many blessings on your own journey. If you want to connect and drop in and have your own individual card reading so we can assess the energies of where they're at for you, please reach out to me, prismhealers@gmail.com. We'll set up a time, and I'm Hailey Jones. Thank you. Aho.